Alright, what's up guys? It's Monday, October the 21st. A couple minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to get into some news here. We're going to talk a little bit about the tornado that went through Dallas last night. And we're going to talk about the same tornado that took a path and went into Arkansas, and tragically one person was killed. And we're also going to talk about this thing here. It looks like a UFO, but it is a helicopter created by China, and we're going to listen to a video from a guy over there, and then I'm going to read an article about it. And we'll talk about some more stuff. Israel, again, is in the news. Netanyahu apparently failed to put together the government there, as he was tasked with from the president. So him and the guy who he was running against, Gantz, I believe his name is, now he is tasked with putting together a government. So we'll get more into that. I put this up here for the fair use thing. It says, any video, article, or point of view in this broadcast is used under the Fair Use Act. It may not reflect the point of view or the interest of the Kingsman Report or myself, Ryan. going to get into the news, go through some of these articles. A couple more we have here is more on Turkey. I have a video with Pence meeting with Erdogan, and I believe his name is Erdogan, in Turkey. And more on Turkey's facing sanctions, blackmailing the finance minister. And we also have Putin and Erdogan to discuss Turkey's operations in Syria tomorrow. So we'll get into this. You can always call in. The number scrolling at the bottom of the screen. It's 1-408-638-0968, and the meeting ID is 534-233-4758. All you have to do is call that number. It'll ask for the ID, put in the ID, and you'll hit the pound sign twice. And you'll be taken to a meeting and put on hold, and then as soon as I get to it, then I'll screen your phone call and we can discuss any topics. You can also send any information you have to through Twitter, or you can email it to kingsmanreport2019@gmail.com. Also, Hangouts is a real fast way to get an article over to me, like ASAP. Or you can call in and I can type it up. I have it at my fingertips. So, we're going to get into this first article. It's called it says life-threatening situation. Dallas tornado devastates homes, leaves thousands without power. I'm going to play this video here so you guys can kind of get I watched a little bit of this earlier, so you can kind of get a feel of what happened over there. It's pretty intense. Alright, I'm going to start this right now.
What? Guys, this is no joke. This is a tornado touching down right now. Holy tornado in Dallas. Holy cow. Go in the tornado!
I'm on my back porch. This is insane.
This is crazy. There's a light pole right there. There's a truck on the front of it. Ooh.
The experience was awful. We were inside and
devastation.
it was just like
thing.
out of a movie, you know. We heard this weird this strong wind, and we didn't know it was a tornado and this would happen, and our fence from the back, it was completely destroyed.
So this is the article from this. It says, life-threatening situation, Dallas tornado devastates homes, leaves thousands without power. Let me get to the article here. Says a tornado and several violent thunderstorms tore through the Dallas area Sunday night, destroying homes and businesses, lifting debris at least 3 miles in the air, and leaving tens of thousands of people without power. The severe thunderstorms featuring 70-mile-an-hour winds, heavy rain, lightning, and half-dollar-sized hail left 65,000 people without power Sunday night, according to Encore, the state's largest utility company. Damage is significant in the area where the tornado touched down, Encore tweeted. It says the city of Dallas said there are no reports of fatalities, but first responders were working overnight to check on residents and door-to-door search, according to Dallas Morning News. Here's another video here at the bottom. I'll turn this on real quick. Of course it's going to play an ad. We'll let it play through this ad. Once again, any of the videos, articles, or points of view in this broadcast is used under the Fair Use Act, and they may not reflect the point of view of the Kingsman Report. It's almost done here, and then I'll turn this audio back on. See some of the devastation there. Wow. I haven't looked at this video yet, but this is pretty amazing. This is aerial footage of Dallas on October 21st. It reveals the damage of homes from a tornado that tore across the metro. It's amazing.
It's either the peace of mind of a standard unlimited.
So we're not going to go into ads there. So it says Rocky Vaz, director of the Dallas Office of Emergency Management, told the Washington Post 3 people had been hospitalized for non-life-threatening injuries related to the storm. Vaz added that 6 people also suffered non-critical injuries after an 18-wheeler overturned. The Dallas Police Department says the Dallas Police Department and the Dallas Fire Rescue are assessing damage structures and will continue to do so throughout the night, the city said in a news release, which noted dozens of down traffic signals as well as reports of natural gas leak. Videos of the tornado's funnel cloud and images of devastation throughout North Texas offered a window into the seriousness of the threat. It says shortly after 9 p.m. Sunday, the Dallas Fire Rescue Department confirmed a tornado had formed about 2 miles north of Dallas Love Field Airport and was moving east. The National Weather Service in Fort Worth labeled the tornado a life-threatening situation, indicating a complete destruction is possible. Multiple thunderstorm warnings remained in place as of early Monday. Additional tornadoes were also reported in southern Dallas and Rockwell counties, the Morning News reported. On social media, videos of the tornado's funnel around the Dallas area provided a stunning visual for a storm that was tracked up to 17 miles on the radar. Can you imagine? We've had some pretty devastating ones here in Oklahoma, but this is a pretty big deal. I said this before, pray for the families that were affected by the storms and the tornadoes, the businesses affected by the devastation, the loss of people's homes there. Keep those people in your prayers, absolutely. I've never personally been through anything like that, but I know people who have from living here in Oklahoma. I've been through small tornadoes whenever I was a kid, but nothing this devastating. So keep these people in your prayers. All right. Oops. Let me find the next article here. I believe this is it. Yep, this is it. This says October storms bring hail and tornado warnings, and this is out of Asher, Oklahoma. What I wanted to show you guys was some of the size of the hailstones from this. So there's a quarter. Look at the size of this hailstone. That's big. That's about, I'd say, a golf ball. A little bit smaller than a tennis ball, maybe about a tennis ball size hail. Here's some pictures. Of the devastation. It's just absolutely amazing what these storms can do. Like I said, pray for the people affected by the tornadoes. Thankfully, nobody in Dallas was injured. Like I said, you can call in at the number at the top of the screen here. And if you have any articles, you can send them to my Gmail account. Alright, this isn't so great right here. So the tornado that was in Dallas made its path through Dallas into Arkansas, and unfortunately they had a loss of life there. So this article says 1 killed in Arkansas as tornadoes moved northeast from Dallas. Show you this. I looked at these pictures earlier, and there's a picture of the tornado right there. It says crew searched on Monday through the rubble of building torn apart by a tornado that ripped through the Dallas area the night before, causing damage on homes and businesses and knocking down electricity to tens of thousands of people. The radar confirmed the tornado hit the ground near Love Field Airport and moved northeast through the city around 9 p.m. on Sunday, and said National Weather Service meteorologist Jason Goodwin. There were no reports of fatalities or serious injuries early Monday, according to the release from the city of Dallas. But fire rescue spokesman Jason Evans said 3 people were hospitalized for evaluation of non-threatening, life-threatening injuries. The storms also caused damage to in Arkansas and Oklahoma as the system moved to the northeast early on Monday. Power was out at the Northeast Arkansas Regional Airport in Highfield, about 155 miles northwest of Little Rock. The airport said flights were still departing, though security screenings were being done manually. Tornado warnings were in effect for Far East Arkansas near the Mississippi River as the storm system moved to the east. The Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma said areas of Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Tennessee could see severe thunderstorms later on Monday. So, pray for the people affected by this tornado in Arkansas. Now this article, I saw this going. I saw this. I think it was last week. In something somebody was talking about on YouTube, and it's pretty interesting. But China built a 400-mile-an-hour flying saucer attack helicopter with stealth coating and missile system. This is absolutely nuts. Here's a picture of this thing. Check this out. Yeah, it definitely looks like a UFO. Apparently the people sit there in the dome in the middle. It's capable of housing new technology, new weapons, things like that, and they're planning on, this is a prototype, they're planning on getting into the battlefield. So it says, an experimental attack helicopter that looks like a flying saucer has been unveiled in China. The strange flying machine, dubbed the Great White Shark, is loaded with an arsenal of high-tech weaponry and could take to the skies early next year. Pictures of the UFO-like aircraft with unusual central cockpit first began to circulate online last week after it featured at an air show near Beijing. State-run Chinese paper Global Times later confirmed that the contraption was a new type of experimental helicopter known as the Great White Shark, and the craft can be coated with stealth materials and loaded with missiles, making it a potentially lethal weapon on the battlefield. The Super Great White Shark is a high-speed helicopter designed for future digital warfare, or digitalized warfare, Global Times wrote. Attracted by futuristic design of the spacecraft, Chinese military observers pointed out that the aircraft's high speed and stealth capabilities could give the weapon an edge on the battlefield. The helicopter was apparently shown off the China Aviation Helicopter Industry Base in northeast China district of Anai. It was essentially a wide metal ring with a cockpit lodge in the center, stretching more than 7 meters long and just under 3 meters wide. A propeller was housed within the ring, bolstered by 2 turbojet engines that can provide forward thrust. The craft's pokey size would help to avoid detection on the battlefield. Plans suggest the craft would be capable of firing missiles at the enemy targets, though exactly where they would launch from is unclear. It can also apparently reach 400 miles an hour and fly up to 20,000 feet high. Some experts in China reportedly expressed concerns that the craft would not be stable enough to fly, and similar experiments in the U.S. have later been canned. Whether or not this particular helicopter can become practical, such explorations are beneficial to China's technology development for future helicopters, an anonymous military expert told the Global Times. It says China is hell-bent on becoming the world's most powerful country, recently boosted annual military spending of a whopping $140 billion. So this is it right here. I have a video here on, I'm not gonna play the actual video, but I'm going to play the sound to the video. So let me turn this on for you guys. You can listen to this fella talk about it.
Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel Breaking News TV. We are here again with another breaking news. China launches bold super great white shark UFO-like craft in huge military deployment. China revealed the latest addition to its military arsenal on Thursday in the form of the super great white shark. This new piece of military hardware is in fact a circular helicopter. Its futuristic design makes it look like a UFO and would not be out of place in a Hollywood science fiction film. The prototype was on display at the 5th China Helicopter Exposition in Tianjin on Thursday. At the display, the place card of the craft said, "The Super Great White Shark armed helicopter is a composite wing-body fusion high-speed helicopter configuration designed for the future digital information battlefield." In the initial stage of its design, it refers to the international excellence and major helicopter design technologies such as Apache, Sea Stallion, and Russian Ka-52 and Mi-26. While absorbing their respective advantages, it adopts the internationally popular wing-body fusion (BWB) blended wing-body design and the former. A new type of high-speed helicopter with a conceptual design of propeller blades has been successfully applied in a helicopter design. As stated, the design apparently draws on Russian and American technologies, with a major innovation being the use of the propeller instead of rotary blades. The spacecraft can be piloted by 2 people and will be equipped with missiles. If the super great white shark ever succeeds in lifting off, then the Chinese will make aviation history. No other country has ever succeeded in developing and perfecting the technology. The United States Air Force experimented extensively in the 1950s and 60s with the new types of vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. This involved circular flying platforms and rotorcraft with large central lift fans and more complex flying saucer-like designs. The model that came closest to succeeding was the Aero Canada or VZ9 Aerocar. This indigenous design used 3 centrally mounted jet engines to blow air through vents all around its circular edge to create lift. These vents could then be angled to provide forward thrust. An additional central lift fan gave the craft the ability to take off and land vertically. Unfortunately, the designs were never able to overcome thrust and stability issues, leading to the project to be abandoned in 1961. However, the flying saucer concepts have continued to fire the imagination of designers all over the world. This has led to a steady stream of innovative designs, with the most notable one being the Muller M200G Volunteer. Conceived by the designer Paul Muller, the M200G was supposed to be a flying saucer for civilian use. It received a fair amount of media attention at the time, nearly in 2000s, which led to more refined models, but alas, no concrete sales. In a further interesting development, Romanian engineers have built a subscale model of a circular helicopter which they have called the all-directional flying object. The UFO-like craft is not the only new military technology China has been developing as it seeks to ramp up military capabilities. Researchers in eastern China say they have developed an airborne laser device that can detect underwater objects at unprecedented depths. This might one day be used to track submarines. A team from the Shanghai Institute of Optics and Fine Mechanics said the device could pick up objects more than 160 meters beneath the sea, twice as deep as devices used today. They added it's the first time to have reached that depth with potential for further improvement. Don't forget to like our video and
So that was more on the The helicopter looks more like a UFO. Who's to say we haven't had this technology since way before this? I kind of think we have. The guy who was responsible for Lear jets and the stuff over in the desert, Area 51 type stuff, had said before that anything that you've seen in the movies, anything that you can imagine, that we've already done it and it's parked in the desert. I'm going to get on to this next article. So I talked a little bit about this yesterday on, I believe it was my YouTube channel. I streamed over there. So Netanyahu says he failed to form the government. His rival Gantz is given 28 days to do the job. So I'm going to read this for you. This is important with everything that's going on in the Middle East, whoever leadership is. So if you know anything about Gantz, Netanyahu has warned that he's getting more of the Muslim vote and Muslim backing in the Middle East. And Netanyahu is afraid of losing his seat as prime minister because they don't necessarily agree with him and his politics. So I'm going to read this for you guys real quick. It says, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Let me get down here. All right. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he has failed to form a unity government. President Rivlin is now to give his rival Benny Gantz 28 days to form a coalition after neither secured a majority in September's snap election. Netanyahu informed Rivlin on Monday even that he was running for the mandate to form a government. In a Facebook video, Netanyahu said he had worked relentlessly to establish a broad national unity government, which is what the people want. In a statement, Rivlin said he will give Gantz 28 days for the task of forming a coalition, and this decision is to be formally announced within the next couple days. Gantz, whose Blue and White Party won the most seats in the September election, had previously rejected calls from Netanyahu to form the unity government. Blue and White won 33 seats, while Netanyahu's Likud Party won 32 seats, both falling short of the securing 61 needed to form a majority government in the 120-seat Knesset, Israeli's parliament. Netanyahu's administration comes before Wednesday's deadline to form the coalition. In his statement, Rivlin said he would speak with other political factions regarding the intention to tap Gantz to form the new government. So we're keeping an eye on this, and we're going to see where this goes. You guys can still call in. I think this may be the only Facebook where I read today's headlines and interesting things that are happening in the Middle East, local news and nationwide news. And I think this is the only live call-in show on Facebook that you can call in and discuss topics that you would like to talk about or anything that we're talking about here. So if you guys would like, feel free to call in. The number is scrolling at the bottom of your screen, 1-408-638-0968. Put in the meeting number, it's 534-233-4758. It's also right there in red at the top of your screen. So this next video is Erdogan Putin meeting Turkish Russian president to discuss Syria. So I talked about Erdogan taking money from China. I had talked about I built the foundation for you guys, letting you know about their foothold that they have in Syria and opening trade routes to the Chinese through the Middle East, from China up into Russia and over into Venice. And he took, I think Erdogan took $3.8 billion from the Chinese government, and that they're planning on opening a trade route that runs from China over through the Middle East into Russia. This video has Mike Pence meeting with Erdogan, and we're going to get into this here and let you guys take a listen. Let me get this bigger for you guys.
Mr. President, welcome. Thank you. Thank you for seeing me.
After last Thursday's agreement between Washington and Ankara, Turkish guns are silent for now.
Bu mutabakata göre
We agreed on a complete YPG evacuation within 120 hours. We agreed to create the safe zone with the US. The region will be 444 kilometers long.
And the area will go about 32 kilometers deep into Syria from the Turkish border. Even though the deal requires the YPG terror group to vacate large swathes along the border, there are more challenges.
Rusya'nın koruması altındaki
In some parts of our operation region, there are regime forces under the protection of Russia. We will discuss this issue with the Russian president in Sochi on Tuesday and try and find a solution.
And Moscow has some reservations about Turkey's military operation.
President Putin, in his recent phone conversation, has expressed concern of possible humanitarian consequences of this operation. Our position remains the same. However, the situation in the northeast of Syria remains uneasy because of this operation. Of course, it will be a very important topic at the talks on Tuesday between President Putin and President Erdogan.
But Ankara says it disagrees with Moscow's assessment.
Turkish officials say their military operation has been planned with the humanitarian consequences taking center stage. They say Ankara's previous operations show just how careful the Turkish military has been in targeting only the combatants. A stark contrast, they say, to what the Russians and Americans have been doing in Syria's Idlib, Raqqa, and many other areas.
Turkish officials say in addition to Operation Peace Spring, the two leaders will also discuss Idlib province and the city of Manbij. They're also expected to talk about the formation of a constitutional committee that would pave the way for elections in Syria. Ankara says despite many diverging interests, Turkey and Russia have managed to achieve some shared goals. They now hope this meeting will build upon the successes. Hassan Abdullah, TRT World, Sochi, Russia.
So that was a little bit more on what's going on with Turkey. Now this is interesting here. It says Turkey facing sanctions of blackmailing finance minister. So I believe there is a video on this one. Yes, there is. We'll go ahead and open this up for you guys. Let you take a listen to this.
Reuters says the Turkish lira was up 3% before a presentation by Finance Minister Berat Albayrak to investors, shrugging off U.S. comments ruling out the removal of steel tariffs on Turkey, even if it frees a U.S. pastor. The currency gained some support from the announcement of a Qatari pledge to invest $15 billion in Turkey, and the finance minister will be looking to reassure investors on his conference call. After hitting a record low of 7.24 this week. The lira has benefited from central bank steps to underpin a currency hit by concerns at President Tayyip Erdogan's influence over monetary policy and a bitter dispute with Washington.
Some more goings-on with Turkey and what they're trying to do over in the Middle East. All right, we have another article here. This one says Putin and Erdogan to discuss Turkey's operation in Syria on Tuesday. Here's a picture of them here. Look at the look on Erdogan's face. I believe there is a video on this one also. So it's called U.S.-Turkey Deal Leaves Trump Facing Congress Backlash. So let's check this out, see what this one has to say.
Mr. Assad and Mr. Stephanie, what is your insight of what is to happen next for these different players? Mr. Putin, Mr. Erdogan, Mr. Assad, and Mr. Trump.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a total victory for Erdogan. He's got what he wanted, which was basically control of a safety zone on the Syrian border. And what you have is an effective sort of change of a border, an international border, with very little consequences if sanctions on Turkey are lifted. So it's also a victory for Putin, as well as Syria's Assad, who were not party to this agreement, but are certainly benefiting from it. Iran is also benefiting from it because it allows them control of Hezbollah forces, and it allows them to use Syria to move Hezbollah through. So, you know, Trump has positioned this as some great victory, but there's still a lot of question marks over this deal. One is, where will the Kurdish forces retreat to, you know, and how long will this be enforced? Right. So, you know, I don't see this holding for too long. It's a 5-day ceasefire, and, you know, it's unclear what will happen after that.
Well, it gives them time to move material around. Do we have any understanding of what the combined Russian, Syrian, Kurdistan armament is, their material? What do they have it bear to go up against Turkey militarily?
Well, you know, certainly quite a bit. You know, we've known that Putin and Russian forces have been reinforcing Assad. Assad's forces have gained strength and territory because of the U.S. pullback. You know, so this is a wholesale kind of you know, departure of our allies, the Kurdish forces there, and certainly gives Syria and Russia the upper hand. So, and it's unclear what will happen to those Kurdish forces that the U.S. has fought side by side with for years.
Stephanie, how is the Republican Party taking this?
You know, I think they're taking it much worse. This is a much bigger problem for Trump within his own party than the impeachment inquiry is. You know, you've had various members of the Republican Party come out criticizing Trump's policy towards Erdogan. You know, his his departure and pullback of support from the Kurdish forces. This is the one place where you've seen Republicans in Congress break ranks with the president. They're very against this, and I suspect that they will make moves in Congress to voice their displeasure.
So like I keep saying, keep an eye on players over in the Middle East and what's going on over there. So that's pretty much what I have for tonight. I'm just going to keep doing this, reading the news to you guys. You can join in and call, send articles. We can discuss anything you guys want to talk about. If I start getting more involvement in this, then I can look through articles throughout the day and then put together stuff that we can discuss and then have people call in and join. Sorry, my nose is itching. And you can call in and discuss. Just call the number at the end, at the bottom here. And you can also send stuff to KingsmanReport2019@gmail.com. I'm going to go ahead and get off here. Appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my silly video. Kind of just gets ignored, and I just scour through the news and find stuff and share it with you guys. So God bless everybody. Take care and have a good night.